everyone. The face of Cuyahoga County government will change with the November election. A county executive and 11 county council members will manage and direct the future of local government. News Channel 5 is committed to informing and educating voters about county reform. We begin today's forum with a look at how we got here and where we go from here. The seeds of change in how Cuyahoga County will govern itself were sown many years ago, but they were almost unnoticed for a long while. But then came shouts of alleged county corruption in 2008.
I would never do anything to hurt our great county and the great people that live in Cuyahoga County.
Embattled Cuyahoga County Commissioner Jimmy DeMora made those comments in 2008, days after the FBI raided his office and home. The raid began the largest public corruption probe in state history. County Auditor Frank Russo was also targeted.
The search warrant served upon my office and my home yesterday was a complete surprise to me.
Herein grew a groundswell for change in Cuyahoga County government. By 2009, there was a clamor for change. So much so, it gave birth to 2 reform issues which were put on the ballot for voters to decide upon. County Commissioner Peter Lawson-Jones pushed for Issue 5. Parma Heights Mayor Martin Zanotti pushed for 6. 5 would create a panel to recommend a government structure for voters to consider. 6 called for an elected executive and 11-member council. Voters pushed toward Issue 6, which was the blueprint for county change. In this building is the Cuyahoga County seat of power. But the seat of power is about to change. Voters will elect a council for Cuyahoga County, and they will also elect an executive for the county. And the executive candidates will meet in a News Channel 5 forum. It is a process which began many months ago when shouts called for change in how Cuyahoga County would be governed. The voices were fueled by allegations of corruption. The voices pressed for the path Cuyahoga County would go into the future. There are 11 candidates running for county executive. All were invited to participate in today's forum. 8 of those responded. The candidates in alphabetical order are Republican Matt Dolan, former state lawmaker and attorney. Green Party member David Ellison, a Cleveland architect. Democrat and Lakewood Mayor Ed Fitzgerald. Democrat Terry Hamilton Brown, the former Opportunity Corridor project director. Independent Ken Lancey, a Gates Mills businessman. Independent and former Cuyahoga County Commissioner Tim McCormick. Independent Don Scipione, Cleveland businessman. And Republican Victor Voinovich, real estate developer. Good to have you all with us. I will ask a series of questions to each candidate in alphabetical order. Each candidate will have 1 minute to answer the question. When time has expired, an electronic bell will sound. That's an indication the candidate needs to conclude his or her answer. Mr. Don Scipione, if you're elected, how will you restore trust, efficiency, and integrity to Cuyahoga County?
Well, actually, Leon, I started a year ago. I'm the only candidate here who was a leader of Issue 6. I made the choice to get involved when Issue 6 wasn't a bandwagon, but it was a rickety cart. I became its treasurer. I ran the yard sign and the Get Out the Vote campaigns. I spent at least 6 months of my life last year getting Issue 6 onto the ballot and making sure that it was voted. And it was voted overwhelmingly. So the people of Cuyahoga County have already stepped forward. They've switched to an accountable form of government. This year, before I announced my candidacy, I was involved in the campaign finance reform work group that's working on the transition. We've come out with 4 major areas of campaign finance reform: electronic reporting, lobbying reform, limits on campaign contributions, severe limits, and finally, we want to promote public campaign financing. Thank you.
Mr. Scipione, the same question for you. $19 million budget shortfall next year, $20 million projected in 2012. How would you handle it?
Leon, ditto to both Ken and Tim. The real worry is the $8 billion state deficit and how it's going to affect us. So that's what we really have to worry about. This could be a much bigger problem. But having said that, the restructuring and reorganization of the county government is estimated to probably provide between $15 and $50 million in savings. That savings, some people have suggested, be put toward economic development. No, it's got to go into dealing with the services that are provided. A big prospect for saving a lot of money is by dealing with the infrastructure of the software and computer systems in the county. They need to be brought to the 21st century. There's huge savings, huge potential savings to be had there. For example, they don't talk to one another, so no department knows what the other department is doing, and there's lots of savings to be had there.
Mr. Scipione, how would you handle the retention and reassignment of a county employee, specifically those key offices of county treasurer, auditor, and sheriff?
There's a transition process going on right now, and I will wait till that transition process is completed. There are 1,000 volunteers who are working diligently, looking at at all offices, and especially those three. When that transition work is done and when the election is over, is the time to start looking at who you're going to put in what positions. And an auditor candidate could be Tim McCormick. But
that concludes your answer? Okay. Mr. Scipione, we'll ask you the same thing. How will you and the elected council balance the needs and the programs of the economic, social, politically, and ethnically diverse 11 districts in Cuyahoga County?
Well, the fact is we, in fact, have an ethnically and politically diverse set of districts. I helped design those districts. I helped create that charter and was there when we argued about 5, 6, 7, how many at large, and worked with the Issue 6 people to come up with the right mix and design those districts so they were representative. We also looked at creating a council that was a citizens council, a volunteer council, a balance against the very powerful county executive position, one that could would have to approve his choices for cabinet positions, approve the budget. But the best remark, I think, is paraphrase Peter Lawson Jones, who was on the other side last year, but at a city club meeting, when asked what his best advice would be to the council, was to act and work together and don't be balkanized.
Mr. Scipione, what would you do to increase the chances of citizens obtaining employment?
I'm going to ask council to create an investment fund that focuses on people and neighborhoods, an investment fund that is on the scale of a Brown Stadium, of a Rock Hall, or a Medical Mart. And we're going to take those funds and we're going to use them in 3 ways. 1, we're going to focus on K through 3rd grade education. We need to stop this endless supply of illiterate, poorly educated people. Build a better workforce starting from the bottom. If we don't start then, it will never succeed. Number 2, we're going to take $50 million of that fund and we're going to rebuild the infrastructure for the software that runs the county, and we are going to save a lot of money in the future. And finally, the same thing that Tim McCormick just mentioned, we need to buy low and sell high those 10,000 properties that are foreclosed now. Clean them up, deconstruct them in a sustainable way, and turn them green.
And our final question of the forum, and this one is from a News Channel 5 viewer, and because of limited time, candidates, you only have 30 seconds to answer. How do you see your relationship with the city of Cleveland and Mayor Jackson and the state of Ohio? Don Scipione.
I was one of the first business supporters of Mayor Jackson when we tried to convince him to run for mayor. I knew Mayor Jackson because I'd worked with him as chairman of Midtown Cleveland. Midtown Cleveland and Ward 5 are very contiguous, and I know what a good and great mayor he would make. So I was an early and longtime supporter of Mayor Jackson. We have a great relationship, and I have a great relationship with City Council. And as far as the state is concerned, my company is an Ohio Third Frontier winner. We know how to deal with the state.
Thanks for watching this News Channel 5 special Cuyahoga County Executive Forum. Be sure to vote for your candidate, the candidate of your choice, in the September primary. I'm Leon Bibb. Be well.